welcome to Kernels. My name is Sam Bowers. I'm the consultant for continuing education here at the State Library. I'm joined today by Nick Shimon, who, Nick, can you give us your title?
I'm the library and the IT director for the city of West Branch in West Branch, Iowa.
All right, so IT for the whole city and library-specific director fun, right?
Yep.
Nice. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Kernels. Kernels is an ongoing series of short videos from the State Library of Iowa. Each installment is a small pop of professional development that gets right to the core of a library program service or library methodology applied in the public library setting. We're featuring in-practice librarians talking about their work so other in-practice librarians can learn from their experience. We've got these posted on our continuing education YouTube channel. There's a whole playlist of them so you can check them all out. We've also got them stored in Iowa Learns, our learning management system. You can watch them there and earn continuing education credit, half an hour each, for watching a kernel and completing the evaluation. There's more info on how to do that in Iowa Learns. We've also got them on the State Library website, so you can find contact information, handouts, any other resources which come up in some of our episodes. All that and more in the links to the description. So Nick is here today to talk to us a little bit about how they are using chat at their library and how they got that going on their website and how you can get it going on your Wix or Weebly website. So Nick, can you tell me a little bit about West Branch, the city where you work, where your library is?
We are a small town of about 2,300 people located right to the east of Iowa City. So much of our community is commuting, well, normally commuting, telecommuting right now. But they work in Iowa City, the corridor, or Cedar Rapids for the most part.
Okay, so pretty small town then.
Yeah.
Why did you decide that chat was going to be something you wanted to have going at your library?
So chat works really well. It's a kind of a nice in-between phone and email. So I personally don't like phone calls just because I don't have all the information directly in front of me. I tend to forget things, so I like to have things written down. And with email, I feel like sometimes the responses take too long. So chat for me is a nice in-between option. And so I think the people who are most likely to use it are probably those that teenage to maybe 45, 50 that are kind of fit into that same category with me. Feel like email takes too long sometimes. Not that ours does, but when you email a company, you feel like the emailing takes too long.
Do you mean it takes too long to send the email or it takes too long to get a response?
If you email a large company, it often takes a couple of days to get something back. So when I go to a website of a company, I look for chat because I know that there's going to be somebody there who I can talk to back and forth. I can do other things while I'm waiting for them to respond. It's a good multitasking type of thing to do.
Yeah, so your patrons are able to kind of fire that question off and know that they're going to get a response. It's not going to be maybe the next second, but it's going to be a lot faster than if they send that email probably.
Correct.
How has your staff reacted? Are they excited about this opportunity?
Yeah, I think any way for us to communicate with the people that we're serving is something that we're very happy about. Again, it's something that you can kind of multitask with, waiting for somebody to respond with what they're looking for. You can have something popped up on your computer where you're looking for a book, or you're looking on Iowa, looking for an interlibrary loan book while they're typing. So you don't have to tell them to hold on a second while I bring your account information up like you do on the phone. It's a very smooth and fluid transition between the two.
Yeah, you're in a small town too, so I don't imagine this is a huge issue, but you could even have multiple chats going at once, unlike a phone call where you're really kind of stuck on the phone.
Yeah, we haven't had, I don't think anybody here has had a concurrent chat going, but yeah, it's been nice otherwise. I mean,
Great.
yeah.
So you have a video that we're going to queue up next that walks us through how to get these installed on a Wix site and a Weebly site. Which version are you using for your library right now? Which platform?
We don't actually. We use WordPress, but
Okay.
I've worked on Wix and Weebly. Part of the IT job is you get called to do work for community groups, not work for, but help with community groups. A lot of change in management and that sort of thing. So I've helped out on them. I've operated websites both on Weebly and Wix, so I'm very familiar with them. Enough to the point where I actually had a generic website set up already on Weebly for us to use on this.
Well, that's great. So let's cue up the video and we'll take it away. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Nick Shimon. I'm the director of the West Branch Public Library. In addition to doing the library stuff, I also serve as the IT director for the city. So I get to experience a little bit of technology every day when people ask me for help and all that fun stuff. I am pretty well versed in a lot of online stuff, so I offered to do a little bit of a session on people who maybe don't have a state library website that they can get their chat button done for Bold360, and just thought I'd try and help out with that. I think the most common thing that people have in the state, other than the state library's website, is either through Weebly or Wix, which are two common what is called a WYSIWYG editor, the what you see is what you get editor, meaning when you put something on the page, that's what you get. What you see is what you get. So I wanted to go over how you get that button onto your site so that everybody can make use of the functionality. I think it's great. We've had a lot of positive feedback here at the West Branch Public Library, and I think it'll probably turn out pretty well for you too. So I'm going to first start off by sharing my screen. Okay. So now I've got my screen shared. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to have open your admin area for Bold360, as well as the area for you to edit your website. If you don't know off the top of your head, the admin center for Bold360 is admin.bold360.com. If you need more than that, you're going to have to kind of talk to your local resource technician because there's a little bit of a background there in terms of how to log in and all that crazy stuff. So I'm not going to cover that. So to find your button and to get the code for it, to put it on your website, over here you're going to see a listing of 5 different options. You're going to go into channels, and under chat you'll see buttons, a static button and a floating button. Static means it stays exactly where you put it on your page. Floating means it stays with your page, however you move your page up and down. That button kind of stays in that one place on your page. There's not really a benefit to either. As long as you position a static button where you want it to and where it's easily visible, that works just fine. If you want that floating button to always, or if you want the button to always be available, then maybe floating is a good option for you. For Wix and Weebly, I do have to say that static kind of works a little bit better, but it still works with a floating one as well. So when you go in here, you'll see this sort of the same thing either way. You'll see my chat button. I'm going to start off with a static button just because it's on top. You can change a lot of the different configuration in here. In their videos, in the Bold360 videos, they'll give you a lot of detail as to how to change these and what they do. So I'm not going to go heavily into that because that's already kind of covered. You can change color, text, button templates, you know, just how it looks. You can see me changing. You can get this dude down here if you really want that dude. Regardless, that's where it is. And there's really not a whole lot for us to do here. I believe the state already has something in there for you, so you don't even have to change anything there. That's just if you want to. So what we really want is this HTML right here. You're going to have to set up a website as well in your organization. The website's here. So you're going to have to set up a website for that, and again, there's videos on that within their tutorials. So we're basically just going to say what website do we want it on. Honestly, to be really honest, it doesn't really matter where it's going to be as far as I figured. I'm going to put this wbpl.org, even though we're not putting it on that website. And then you click generate HTML. And do you want to save so you can generate HTML? Sure. And it'll give you all this fun code down here. And you don't need to know what any of this means. The same if we go to the floating page, you'll click on it, go to HTML. You do have to select your website. I don't think you have to do the rule set. Click generate. And here again is this wonderful code, again, that you don't need to know anything about whatsoever. So let's see, what do I want to go to first? Let's go to Weebly. This is my generic Iowa Public Library Weebly website. This website's actually been in place for several years. My generic Weebly website for this sort of purpose. And we're going to go in to just edit a Weebly site. So one of the things with static is that it'll stay right where you put it. We're going to go in and we're going to put in what was it? Embed code. This is what we're doing. We're putting code into your page. Now we've got this click to set custom HTML. Let's edit. And basically all you want to do, we'll start off with static. Again, we're going to click on this, my default button, go into HTML, select the website, and generate the HTML. They even have a button here that says copy to clipboard. We're going to press that, go back over here, edit the HTML, just paste, Control V, or right click and select paste. Again, this may not look exactly like what you want. You're going to have to edit the button, make some of those changes a little bit to how you want. So that's the static button. I'm going to get rid of that. We can see what the floating button looks like. And since it's a floating button, it doesn't actually matter where you put the code. So I'm going to toss it in here at the very bottom. I'm going to go back to the admin center, do the floating button, go into my chat button, the HTML, go to the website, generate HTML, copy to clipboard. And this is going to be what we actually see on our website because I've edited it a little bit. It's not the default. Actually, it may be the default. So now we've got that set in there. You click out and all of a sudden this pops in. Now you can see when we move, it stays with the page. That's what floating means, is it stays with you on that part where you've told it to be within the page, regardless of where you are in the page itself. When we get done, we say publish. Then we can go and actually see what our website looks like. And there it is. And you can see we actually do have people logged in. The other staff are logged in so that we can click on here and go in to chat with us. Now I wanted to also talk about Wix because Wix is another common one within the state. We're going to go into edit site. Wix is a little bit more difficult. They offer a lot more customization, but is a little bit more finicky in its implementation. So you can see this is what our front page looks like. There's not a great place in here to actually put in some code. So for Wix, we say add. We're going to say we want to put an embed and an HTML iframe. I would like to do this custom element, but this actually requires a paid subscription. And one of the reasons you probably are using this is because it's free. So with Wix, it gives you the option of putting it basically anywhere in your page, which is good and bad. I'm not going to say that I like it or dislike it, but again, it gives you more customization. We're going to go back in here to the static. You can give it a lot more. They offer a lot more option as to where you can put it on your page than Weebly does, but it's also a little bit more restrictive. So when we go back to our Wix page, we've got this HTML section that we've added. We're going to double click and we're going to paste and then apply. Close it, and there it is. Now it has gray outline. It's there, it just went away. You can see that it's not there anymore. And that's exactly where it's going to show up on our web page. We're going to delete that and go back to admin center and go to the floating. Generate HTML, copy to clipboard. We're going to go back to our Wix site. The recording stuff is always in the way. Again, we're going to go to add, embed, Now, the problem with this is that an HTML iframe is a way of inputting stuff into your website um, in a way that it's just stuck right there. You can take and you can put an entire website into this HTML code, into a HTML iframe, but it doesn't allow as much versatility. So I'm going to put our floating button in here. Close this. You can see, well, that's not tall enough, so we're going to have to make it a little bit bigger. It also, since it is stuck in an iframe in Wix, you can see it actually doesn't float. So in Wix, it doesn't have as much versatility. I messed around with trying to put something in a footer. You can't actually do that unless you pay. The other option I tried is putting it up in the title area, which again, doesn't seem to work. As far as I can tell, if you want it to actually float, there's not a way in the free area of, within the free subscription to Wix that will actually do that. So the only other thing that I want to actually cover is, say you want this to show up on every single page on your website. So we have Wix and we have Weebly that we're using for demonstration. This is far more complicated, but it is definitely doable. But if this is way over your head, then don't do it. I am going to come back in here into our Weebly site and get rid of this old code. Okay, now our box is gone. So in Weebly, when you're actually wanting to do this on every single page, what you want to do is you have to go into the theme, because what this offers is the editing of the HTML and the CSS, which is the styling for the site. You click in here to the edit, and we're going to put it in the header, just because that's the place where a lot of the styling is. Or that's where a lot of the HTML is. And the headers, if you have them or if you don't, you see you have two options, header or no header, go across all the pages. So we're going to go back to the admin center. We're going to copy to clipboard. This is probably more of something if you want to do it as a float. There's no reason to do this as a static, because if you do it as a static button, you can just put it directly into the page where you want it. So if you want it to float, but you want it to float on all pages, this is where you would edit that. So we'll go in here. We've got our code. I'm just going to go down here to the end. There's this open space here. You can see that they've had some sort of divider here. I'm just going to go paste. Control V, pasted that in there. I'm also going to go to the no header. Go down here. There's another little space. Paste. Then I'm going to save. And there's our box. But as we discussed, we can go to, this is the home page. If we go to the about page, you can see it's still here. If we go to the contact page, I don't have anything there, but the box is still there. Say that you wanted to do this on Wix. As far as I can tell, again, there's no way of doing this if you don't pay for the services. I do want to kind of go over what you would have if you used a different website. There are other what you see is what you get websites such as Squarespace. Just in general, I want they kind of all work the same way. Again, what you're going to want to do is figure out how to put an HTML code snippet into your page. Most of the time, that's going to be by putting a box. It's going to be probably an embed code. It might just be text, but you're going to just want to toss that into your page wherever it can go. You're going to edit that HTML and then paste. And there it is.
Hey, thanks, Nick. That's great. So how can people get in touch with you if they have any additional questions?
Well, of course, you can chat. The odds are 1 in 4 chance that you'll get me on the chat, and you can always transfer. Somebody can always transfer over to me. Otherwise, you can give me a call at the library, 319-643-2644. 2633, or of course email at nshimmin, NSHIMMIN, at wbpl.org.
All right, that's great. And if someone's on the fence, they're thinking about setting up chat, but they're not totally sure, what would you say to encourage them, just kind of give them that push over the edge?
It's very easy. The state library has it all set up, all ready to go. If you don't want to do any customization, all you have to do is get to the point where you generate the code, toss it onto your page, and it's ready.
That's great. So quick and easy way to make contact with patrons who you might not normally be able to reach out to.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone, today. Thanks to Nick for taking time and effort to be part of Kernels. If you've got a little bit of time, you can watch another kernel. They're all part of our playlist here on YouTube. If you're doing something great at your library, a program, initiative, service, or something else that you think would make a great kernel, we want to hear about it. Reach out and tell us all about it. Our contact info is on the next slide. So thanks again to Nick, and take care, everyone. Bye-bye.